before we go deep into this, let's get some basics out of the way. You must have heard that Nigeria is an oil-rich nation. And that's true. Nigeria has crude oil, which is like raw oil, and that's like having raw meat. Except you're from that tribe that eats raw meat, you have to cook your meat first before you eat it. And in the same vein, that crude oil has to be, well, cooked. Science students will call it distillation and separation and all of that, but I'm just going to keep saying cooked because I like food more than science. So the cooking of this oil to become petrol is where the refineries come in. They're basically the kitchen where crude oil is cooked. But the problem is that the refineries in Nigeria are similar to my relationships. They are just not working. Even though more than $20 billion has already been spent on reviving them. By the way, that's actually enough money to build 3 new refineries. Talk about wasting funds. So anyway, because the refineries are not working, Nigeria sells her crude oil to outside countries, and these countries cook the crude oil and then Nigeria buys it from them but sells it at a lower price to its citizens so the common man can afford it. So let's say, for example, you go to buy petrol for 2,000 naira. The price actually more than 2,000, but you pay 2,000 naira and the government pays the extra 2 or 3,000 naira without you even thinking about it. You're welcome. So that amount that the government pays for you is called subsidy. Now, it seems like a good thing, right? Well, no, not really, it's not. Let me explain. There are 3 major problems with the subsidy of petrol, which may blow your mind, to be honest. First, stealing. So it broke in the news recently that crude oil itself is being stolen. But that's not just it. Even the subsidized fuel is being stolen as well. Smuggled out of the country. Because the fuel in Nigeria is cheaper due to the subsidy. So if you can just take this fuel outside of Nigeria, you can sell it and earn a massive profit. In fact, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has already come out to confirm that 42 million out of the 102 million liters of subsidized petrol, which is supposed to be for Nigerians' daily consumption, is being smuggled out of the country every single day. This is despite the fact that they already invested 20 billion naira in technologies just to eradicate this very same smuggling issue. And here we have 42 million liters, that's 40% by the way, being smuggled out. Which is what they claim, but if you think about it, it takes about 30 tankers to move 1 million liters of petrol. And here we're talking about 42 million liters. So that's 1,260 tankers crossing our borders illegally every day. Whether that's the case, whether they are manipulating the numbers, it is all for the same goal of stealing funds. Fuel subsidy is an organized crime. Secondly, subsidy helps the rich more than it helps the poor, which defeats the whole point of it anyway. The so-called common man doesn't benefit from it as much as the wealthy. So according to research carried out in Ghana, only 3% of the poorest 40% benefit from fuel subsidy. And in Nigeria, the top 20% of households enjoy twice as much the subsidy benefit as the bottom 20% of households. So yeah, basically what all this is saying is the fuel subsidy is not even as beneficial to the poor, the very same poor that it was supposed to help in the first place. And the third, probably the biggest issue with subsidy, is the outrageous amount for the subsidy itself. Now keep in mind that this is borrowed money. Nigeria does not generate enough money to pay for the fuel subsidy, and so it borrows. The amount paid for subsidy has increased from 317 billion naira in 2015 to almost 4 trillion in 2022. Yes, just in 2022. That is 8 times the revenue of the 36 states. That is more than the budget of health, agriculture, and education combined. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, have been begging the government for the 1.3 trillion that they both agreed upon since 2013, and they've not been settled till now. Meanwhile, the country is borrowing to pay for fuel subsidy instead. And you can see the reason the subsidy hasn't been removed isn't because of the common man at all. It's because of the billions being stolen as subsidy money every single day. So yeah, fuel subsidy should be removed. They already removed the subsidies for kerosene, diesel and aviation fuel a long time ago, and now it is time for petrol subsidy to go as well. Sure, the outcome would be difficult at first. The removal of fuel subsidy will lead to increase in transportation fares, which will in turn lead to increase in cost of goods that require transporting, And of course, some people would even take advantage of the situation and just increase the prices of their goods already in hand. But in the long run, the funds which were initially wasted as subsidy can be spent on infrastructure, education and other areas which will actually be beneficial to Nigerians. Anyway, go be.